body seated here. Begin this meditation by finding your meditation posture. Comfortable yet upright, relaxed, present. You can notice your body seated here, noticing the weight and movement and touch. Letting your attention sink into your body, feeling it as though from the inside. Relaxing. And then exploring what is here, what is true for you in this moment. Let your attention gently come to rest on your breathing. Your breath is your anchor, and it's the focus that you can always return to. It's your home base. So feel the gentle rising and falling of your breath in your abdomen or chest. Or the in and out sensations located at your nostrils. So we feel one breath after the next, one breath at a time, with a curious attention. What does one breath feel like in this very moment? Now we can also open our attention to a variety of other experiences when they become predominant or obvious, when they become more predominant than the breath itself. So you might notice sounds from the outside, inside your room, outside your home. You might notice sounds pulling your attention away. So you can listen to the sound. You let go of the breath and listen to the sound. When it no longer holds your attention, then return back to the breath. If a body sensation gets strong, becomes predominant, pulls your attention away from the breath, again, let go of the breathing. No need to be in tension with the breath or the body sensation. Just go naturally. Let your attention go to the body sensation. Feel it. Sense it. Notice it. What happens? Does it grow or shrink? Expand? Increase? Decrease? Does it shift into something else? When it no longer holds your attention, come back to the breathing. The simplicity of the breath. It's always available to you. If while you're sitting, an emotion becomes strong and obvious, that can be what you focus on. You can bring your attention to the emotion. So again, letting go of the breath or whatever else you were focusing on and paying attention to that emotion. Specifically, feel it in your body. Investigate in your body how you feel this emotion. You might notice some clenching or tightness in your belly. Maybe there's some vibration or tension in your chest. Maybe your throat feels tight. Maybe your face is warm. There's all sorts of sensations in our bodies to pay attention to when we're having an emotion. You can label that emotion fear, sadness, irritation, whatever it is. Labeling it and feeling in your body what's happening. When the emotion no longer has a hold on you, or something else pulls your attention, or it's stopped, you can go to that new thing that's pulled your attention, for instance, a new body sensation or a sound. Or you can always return to the breathing. Just come back to home base, to your anchor. Now, if thoughts become obvious, sometimes thoughts are just in the background, in which case there's nothing to do really, just stay with being with your breath. Sometimes you notice that you're lost in thought, and you can use the word thinking or wandering, and then return your attention right back to your breath. But if a thought is repetitive, you can begin to label the thoughts: worrying, planning, remembering. Sometimes in the act of labeling them, they disappear. Sometimes they continue on. If the thought keeps going in a repetitive way, you might check into your body and see if there are body sensations to notice. Let yourself be curious about the thoughts arising, coming and going. If it feels like too much, always return to the breath. So as you do this practice, the breath is your anchor. And no matter what's happening in your awareness, whether it's sounds or body sensations, or emotions or thoughts, you can always find that place to return to. You might also notice if there's an attitude or mood in your mind, like a sense of restlessness or sleepiness, or just a general feeling like sadness. Notice if these mental states color your experience. You can pay attention to them too. So we'll sit together now in silence, remembering to keep your attention mostly focused on your breath. And then if a sound or body sensation, emotion, thought, or obvious mental state or mood, if they become evident, predominant, let go of the breathing. Notice whatever it is that's happening. When it's stopped or no longer holds your attention, return to the breath. And just relax and have fun. Be curious. You're exploring your own mind with curiosity and openness. So we'll try this for some time now. If you find yourself lost in thought, it's not a problem. Just relax. Notice your thinking and really kindly return your attention right back to whatever is happening in this present moment. You might find that you move from one thing to the next. There's a sound, a body sensation, a thought, an emotion, and then a return to your breath. Trust in this natural flow of your experience as we relax and witness with curiosity our life unfolding in front of us. So once again, notice your body here, present time awareness, feeling your weight, posture, shape. And then just invite in some kindness for yourself, wishing yourself well, the best you can, appreciating yourself. May I be happy and peaceful and at ease. May I be safe and protected from danger. May I be healthy and strong. May I be at ease. May we all be happy and peaceful and safe and protected, healthy, strong, at ease.
Thanks for joining me on this meditation. I appreciate this opportunity to share my meditation journeys with the Meaning Wave community. And during today's meditation, at one point, thoughts came into my mind, thinking about what I would do or say now after the meditation had ended. And I chose to dismiss those thoughts by telling myself, I have the intelligence to come up with that when the time comes, and have faith, and that now is time set aside for being present. So when I dismiss thoughts and return to the attention to present moment, sometimes it sounds a little bit like that. A quick little conversation in my head. Now is not the time for thinking about that. There will be a time to think about that. I have faith. And a lot of times, it's interesting because mindfulness is actually particularly good at allowing emergent ideas. You're letting go and peeling away so many layers that sometimes something good and exciting and important will bubble out. Sometimes during my meditations, so sometimes I do have to assess the value of the thought that emerges during my meditation. It's not beyond consideration for me to stop, write something down, and then come back. But most of the time, they're not at that level of urgency, and I can just say, there will be a time for that. Right now, it's time to meditate. So I'm going to read today's excerpt from the Daily Stoic, which will sound familiar. It's very, very serendipitous. It's definitely a synchronistic signpost. April 6th. Prepare yourself for negativity. When you first rise in the morning, tell yourself, I will encounter busybodies, ingrates, egomaniacs, liars, the jealous, and cranks. Slightly different translation, I think. They are all stricken with these afflictions because they don't know the difference between good and evil. Because I have understood the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil. I know that these wrongdoers are still akin to me, and that none can do me harm or implicate me in ugliness, nor can I be angry at my relatives or hate them. For we are made for cooperation. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. You can be certain as clockwork that at some point today you are going to interact with someone who seems like a jerk, as we all have been. The question is, are you going to be ready for it? This exercise calls to mind a joke from the 18th century writer and witticist Nicholas Chamfort, who remarked that if you swallow a toad every morning, you'll be fortified against anything else disgusting that might happen the rest of the day. Might it not be better to understand up front, right when you wake up, that other people often behave in selfish or ignorant ways, the toad, than it is to nibble it throughout the day? But there is a second part to this. Just as there is a second half of Marcus's quote, no one can implement me in ugliness, nor can I be angry at my relative or hate him. The point of this preparation is not to write off everyone in advance. It's that maybe, because you've prepared for it, you'll be able to act with patience, forgiveness, and understanding. I love when I am able to remind myself that my reaction to a situation is under my control. And I've got a lot of work to do to perfect myself in these virtues. So, good reminder for today. Another thing I wanted to bring up was, how do you reconcile the kind of passivity of meditation with a ambition to improve yourself and be a kind of aggressive and hustle and stuff like that? sometimes I like to frame it in a kind of dichotomy. I put aside this time of kind of particular rest to zero out my mental state, to start from this neutral, familiar place, both to exercise my capacity to get to that place so that I can have better control over my mental state, my emotions. It really is a tool. It's an exercise that strengthens our capacity to do what Marcus Aurelius suggests. It's one thing to acknowledge that we will encounter people who are not governing themselves up to an ideal. It's another thing to have the capacity to do, to act how we would like to act when we encounter it. Mindfulness can help you observe your thoughts and your emotional states and choose other paths. It will strengthen your capacity to do that. But it is kind of a passive exercise. So sometimes I like to kind of say, okay, and I try to create like a virtuous cycle. Okay, I meditated this morning, so I'm really going to get after it in my workout. I'm going to be really aggressive in the rest of my day. Because there is this kind of contentedness where you are... I'm not going to go so far as to claim that it inherently breeds acceptance and passivity, but it could, it does feel like it works in that way at some times. So I like to juxtapose that with, a healthy dose of getting after it later in the day. So how am I going to get after it today? Well, I'm going to do a little bit of everything, kind of have like an ideal day in the sense that I do a little bit of everything. So on Tuesdays is kind of a rest day for me. So I do my 10-step body weight exercise and I jog. So that just means no working out. So I'm not going to push against any upper limit. I'm just going to have exercise. So probably a 20-minute jog. I really enjoy rucking and reading at the same time. Is my rucksack around here? Here, I'll do a little show and tell. Stand by 1 minute. So this is a Go Ruck. It's kind of like a military rucksack, but for civilian use. So this company, Go Ruck, has challenges all over the country, and you're entitled to go to them once you own their product. I have a local one. I've earned a few patches by going to their challenges. But what I really like to do is to put some weight in here and then walk around a 5-mile loop by my house while reading. And so I'm exercising my body and my mind at the appropriate intensities where I can read and do it at the same time. So it's very easy for me to read and walk at the same time. Some people are different, and that's fine. And I'm reading right now in my efforts to read the great works of the Western world. So I put up to, I have a question here, how much weight do I put? I wonder if I can stack these. How much weight do I put in my ruck? It depends, up to 60 pounds. So it has 2 handles on either side. So it's really a gym in a bag. You could do overhead press, squats, those twists, all kinds of stuff. If I want to get a full workout with it, I might put 40, 50, 60 pounds. But if I'm just walking around casually, I'll usually throw like 3 full Nalgene bottles and like a 10-pound plate. It's got a plate carrier actually in it. So I'll put just a disc plate for my barbell set in there. So for the 5-mile walk, 30 pounds is fine. And so I'm going to read Plato. One particular one. I'm not really prepared for sharing this because I don't know what Plato I'm reading. I have it around here somewhere. And then Herodotus. This in its entirety. This is Herodotus, the histories. This is how far I've gotten so far. And then I'm also going to study for professional development, and then I'll see what else my day has in store for me. Yeah, no problem. It's a really, really great thing. There's GoRuck communities all over the United States. If you a lot of them have Facebook groups. So if you search like GoRuck, like whatever a major city near you is, you might be able to find people who are doing. You might be able to find a lovable band of misfits who you can join with. The backpacks are super expensive. It's the best backpack that money can buy. I saved up for this thing for a long time, and I try to keep good care of it. We're talking like $250, but they have a lifetime warranty. They were made in America at some point, and then I think for a short period of time they were made overseas, and now they're back. But it's like the best laptop bag that you could get. It's super. It's actually heavy just by itself. But yeah, totally worth the investment in my opinion. And my group does Saturdays early in the morning, which doesn't always work out for me, called Breakfast. And it's a pretty intense exercise, and they're great people getting after it. Yeah, they're cool. I made some friends. I made some really cool friends. It's always good to tap into, an extra community of people who are already doing the things you want to do. It's good to make friends who are where you want to be and moving in the right direction. And the GoRuck community is definitely, can you see that? I'm using a potato can. That's kind of their symbol there, the spear tip, the arrowhead. GoRuck. This one I got for like rucking around Albany in the cold in the middle of the night, and our group was carrying sandbags. Yeah, so thanks for joining me. I want to get more consistent with this. I'm sorry that I stopped for a little while. Juggling things like we all are. But I came back here, and I think that's it for today. Thanks for joining me. Let me know if you have any suggestions. And hopefully I'll be back here tomorrow. So I'll shoot for a little bit earlier in the morning tomorrow morning. Let's say somewhere around 7 or 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I want to start working a little bit earlier and earlier in the morning. But cool. Thank you so much for being here, and hope you enjoyed that. And have a great day. Get after it. Peace. Bye.